I grew up in Devonport, left school at year 10, couldn't get out of there fast enough, so it was cars and wheels and tyres from there on. Ended up getting a job with Hollymans, who were pioneers in transport and shipping in Tasmania. Got a job there as a junior clerk.
Well, my father had a Ampol service station in Devonport. Chaz used to go up there every lunchtime to wash his car. The only person I've ever seen can wash a car and not get one drop on his shoes.
I started racing at the Speedway.
He was racing Speedway and we were racing karts.
Over our Speedway career, I think I won 4 or 5 Tasmanian championships.
Chaz Kelly, he'll be looking for another championship win tonight, putting on the pressure.
I was placed in a couple of Australian titles.
If you go back through and look at some of his results, you know, he was as good as there was in Australia.
But then Owen, my youngest son, and Christian have both raced in America. They're very proud of what they've done.
He was one of the best, and obviously it rubbed off on me a bit anyway.
They leave me for dead. I really didn't intend to buy a truck. I was just going to organise a bit of freight for 1 or 2 companies.
I remember when we bought our first new truck, we thought about it for a week. In the end, he said, if we go broke, we're young enough, we'll start again.
We bought another 1 or 2 or 3, and I was reasonably well known, I guess, through racing, and that helped our transport business grow.
So I had 2 little boys in nappies, and we started a trucking business on our kitchen table.
You know, I always remember all the paperwork on the lounge room floor.
The drivers all arriving back on a Friday night, converging on the lounge room for a beer.
Robin and I were at home. We had 1 car, which I was pampering. I said to Robin, it was nearly cheaper to build a new house than build a garage for this car.
Out of the blue, he said, if you can find a block of land, I'll build your house.
Next day she came home and said, I found our block.
The first thing he said to the architect, I want a 10-car garage. And I said, what?
Designed the house around the cars, and she told me if I built a shed, I could have as many cars as I want. So I got a shed, 995 square metre old sawmill. I've always been interested in the history of racing.
He knows all the details on just about every one of them there.
Every sort of 6 or 8 months he'll come up to me and say, oh, I've got another car streak.
He has crowds coming in just to see his collection.
Yeah, some pretty cool stuff in there.
The last car to ever leave there would be our F40, which I famously crashed back in 1992.
Chaz Kelly's Ferrari, a red missile as the speedo touches 302.
Yeah, Robin was navigating and we were in a turn.
And he accelerated before he actually straightened it up.
I put the power on a bit early and that was it. It was all over. I guess it'll go on back to Italy and be rebuilt, so it'll be all right.
It hit the tree pretty hard. I said to her, you okay? And she said, yeah, I'm all right. So let's get out.
Wasn't my fault.
I often wonder how you measure success. We do what we promise. We certainly try to. And, if we can do that, people can rely on us. The Transport Equipment Hire is a business in Melbourne that rents out semi-trailers and prime movers and is run by Owen predominantly.
It supports our other businesses. It's been a great backbone for some of these opportunities that have opened up.
We started a company called Fresh Freight Tasmania.
That was just a group of mates deciding that they should do something together. None of us had any idea how fast it would grow, and it's still growing.
I managed to put together a group to buy Patrick Logistics and Patrick Shipping, which we renamed Sea Road.
He came home one day and he said, I think we might buy a ship. I said, well, how much do they cost?
2 ships, 3,500 containers. It's a lot of infrastructure. I remember walking into the back of the ship when we first bought it, and I looked up at it and I thought, gee, what have we done?
I think it's just a matter of identifying opportunities and then obviously having the, I suppose, balls to jump in and have a crack at it.
At the moment, we got just over 30% of the freight, and we think we can grow that a bit more with new ships.
Rock Logistics stands for Robin, Owen, Chaz and Christian.
Rock Logistics works in the steel industry, carting roofing on and guttering, downpiping, etc.
It has transitioned into quite a large business.
One of the things that he taught us early was, never say no. You say, yep, no worries, we can sort that out for you.
Chaz is very driven. He seems to have the knack of picking up new businesses and then bringing them back to life.
Some people look at it and all they see is a smouldering wreck, whereas, Dad might look at it and go, I can fix that.
I got a phone call one day from an administrator to say that he was selling Roadrunners, but it had to be that next morning.
If we didn't take that on, it looked like it was going to go upside down and all those people were going to lose their jobs.
I went to Hobart the next morning and by midday we bought it.
There's a lot of synergies between the businesses and they operate, reasonably independently. Sometimes you see a Rock Logistics truck hiring a TEH trailer and it's carting a Sea Road container.
Yeah, back in 2004, a friend of mine, Robert Kelty, was selling trucks in Launceston and selling Volvos mainly. Anyway, we bought a couple off him and from there on it's just gone gangbusters, of course.
The fleet number of our first new Volvo was 177 and we're now at 460 or something.
We've got 6 grandkids. We've got 4 here in Devonport with Christian and 2 in Melbourne with Owen.
If I'd known grandkids were this good, I'd have had them first.
My eldest son, I named him Chaz. He's 12 next week.
But I'm the real Chaz Kelly.
Is that right?
Yes.
We're hoping that this business becomes generational.
If you have a look around his office, it's got all the important stuff there. The grandkids, the ship and his race cars.
Being born and bred here in Devonport, we do everything we can here to sponsor events mainly for kids.
There'd be an enormous amount of people that you just give a bit of a hand here and a bit of a hand there.
In the last few years we've been supporting Legacy. They supported my family when I was young. We're serious about continuing that support. The other one, of course, is Variety, because we go on the Variety Bash. I've been in there for 31 consecutive bashes and you see what the money does.
Chaz always went really hard in the bash.
The cars would come back and they have broken axles, but they used to have a wonderful time.
Be able to give people a job, know that it's a permanent job. If they do the right thing, they're set. That's probably our biggest achievement.
He's always given people opportunities to succeed, to end up where it all has and is and where it's going. That's the real remarkable part.
Chaz is a very humble man and since the day I met him he's never changed.
Chaz's contract's up for renewal soon, so he's been going okay, so we'll probably keep him on a bit longer.
I said to him not long ago, when do you think you'll retire? And he said, when I get sick of doing what I'm doing. So I don't know what's next.
Another new ship after the one that's being built now.
Where did that come from?
Gotcha.